1590 WAKR. 13 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's go to film school. Bring in film study professor Joe Fortunato with us. And last week we previewed the Oscars, so we thought this week we would look at the Oscars and do a review of the Oscars and the winners and the losers and the surprises coming out of the Oscars from last Sunday night, which, by the way, was one of the most watched Oscars in the last couple of years. Joe Fortunato is going to join us here on our film school.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingarone, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
And up to $3,200 off on 22 Escapes. We are at 400 West Avenue in Talmadge or park4online.com.
Ohio Roads and Bridges connect us to things we need and enjoy. It takes a lot of hard work and money to keep roads in good shape. Today, most of that money comes from Ohio's gas tax. As Ohioans drive more fuel-efficient and electric vehicles, people are buying less gas. That's great for our environment, but it means less money for road and bridge maintenance. Ohio is conducting a study to find a new and more sustainable way to fund the maintenance of our roads and bridges. To learn more and to provide input, visit OhioRoadFunding.com.
Sponsored by Ohio Department of Transportation and aired in cooperation with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Grace Baptist Church would like to invite WAKR listeners to listen to their Sunday morning program beginning at 8:30 a.m. Grace Baptist Church also extends an open invitation to visit their church to introduce you to their pastoral staff. Grace Baptist Church is located at 704 North Firestone Boulevard in the heart of Firestone Park. Tune in to 1590 WAKR this and every Sunday at 8:30 a.m. for the Grace Baptist Church program. Grace Baptist Church, growing in grace as we grow with you. Visit the website at gracebaptistakron.org.
It's the Ray Horner Morning Show.
This morning show just starts my day off right.
On 93.5, 1590 WAKR.
93.5, 1590 WAKR, St. Patrick's Day of 2023. 16 minutes after 8, as promised, let's bring in film study professor, and as he takes us to film school, that's Joe Fortunato with us each and every Friday at this time. And Joe, last week we previewed the Oscars. And I know you had the big party, you had the celebration, you were on television, you had it all down. But when it all came about and unfolded Sunday night, there was certainly one big, big winner. So review the Oscars for us, my friend.
Well, welcome, everybody. Hello, Ray. And yes, the 95th Academy Awards is now in the books. And I thought we had a pretty good show, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But, yeah, the big winner, kind of as I predicted, and I wasn't alone in that, so I'm not going to take a whole lot of credit there, but was Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It didn't win every award it was nominated, but it was nominated for 11 and won 7. That's a pretty big haul. In fact, it won all the big ones, including Best Picture, Best Original Screenplay, Best Director, in this case directors, plural, Best Supporting Actor and Actress, Best Actress, and Best Editing. So it couldn't have been a bigger or better night for the folks over at A24, is the studio that produced that film, and all the folks there that were behind that. What's maybe a little surprising and to me a little disappointing was that so many strong contenders got completely shut out, like Tar, Banshees of Inisherin, which to me I think was the best film of the year. The Fabelmans, which was my personal favorite that I was rooting for, and Elvis. All of them went home empty-handed, which was a little bit of a shock. The viewership was up this year, which is good for the Academy. 18.7 million viewers, which is the best since the 2020's pre-pandemic broadcast. In fact, it's not only the best showing of the Oscars, but the best showing of any award show in 3 years. Now, of course, that pales in comparison to the good old days of 57 million viewers 20 or 30 years ago. But in those days, there was no internet, there wasn't no streaming, there wasn't a whole lot of things. TV ratings in general are down, so it's some positive news for the Academy that the viewership was up a little bit. There's some possible reasons for that. Why? Well, you had the blockbuster Best Picture nominees like Top Gun and Avatar. You had some great performances by Rihanna and Lady Gaga. There was probably some curiosity left over from last year's infamous slap and how that might be referenced this year. So there's probably a number of reasons why, but I'm happy to say as an Academy booster and a film lover that the ratings were up.
Joe, let me ask you this. As far as the word surprise, and listening to your comments there, was the surprise out of the Oscars, at least from your point of view, the reason that film took home all the Oscars? You thought maybe a little bit more of the spreading of the wealth?
Well, as I predicted last week and on my TV spot as well, I wasn't surprised that Everything Everywhere kind of steamrolled on a lot of stuff. And when I was making my own picks, and I got in my Oscar pool at my place, in my predictions, I got 19 out of 23, which isn't bad, but I was bummed at the 4 that I missed because in my head I knew it could go this way and it might go this way, but I'm gonna spread the wealth a little bit, and I didn't buy into the steamroll, and that's sort of what happened. And for example, I thought the Banshees of Inisherin would have won screenplay, and it didn't. And I thought that Cate Blanchett had a shot to win, a good shot to win Best Actress. But I also thought that Michelle Yeoh was coming up, and I said, well, I'll go with Kate instead of Michelle. And in my head, I kind of knew that maybe I was making the wrong choice. So it wasn't a whole shock, but there was some flip a coin kind of contest that went towards Everything Everywhere all at once.
You mentioned the television ratings, and I think you were spot on that there was other movies involved in at least nominations, and I thought that brought some other younger audiences in to at least pay attention to see if a movie like Maverick, to see if a movie like Avatar might get a chance to win something.
Yeah, and that's not new. The Academy, I don't remember how many years ago, but quite a while ago, expanded the Best Picture nominees to up to 10, and I think now they require 10. And the point of that was to be more inclusive in some of the more popular films, and whether it's just catching up or it's worked this year or it was just one of those other things that I mentioned a minute ago that might have intrigued the people. But I will say this, and this doesn't really count because people don't know this going in, and it was coming out. But I thought it was a really solid broadcast. It was Oscar classic. They just went with the awards. All these awards were on TV again this year because last year there was a whole big hubbub that some of the awards weren't televised, some of the technical awards. I thought Jimmy Kimmel did a great job. He was funny. He was a little bit caustic, but not too much, so it didn't really put off people. There was some great speeches, and I think that we probably all agree, those who saw it, that Ke Huy Quan was really the star of the show with his Best Supporting Actor speech. And we kind of knew that going in, that he was probably going to win, and he'd been giving great speeches. And Jamie Lee Curtis' speech was great. Another great moment was when the songwriter for Natu Natu from RRR sang his acceptance speech to the tune of the Carpenters. That was great. They sang Happy Birthday to the young man who was the star of the Best Short Film. And then again, Ke Huy Quan bringing it all home at the end when he hugged Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
That was a great viral moment. For those who don't know, Ke Huy Quan was Short Round in Indiana Jones movie, and so that was sort of a reunion for him and Harrison Ford, and it was a great moment. A lot of great moments.
Final thing, Joe, there's a lot of people who haven't seen Everything Everywhere yet. Summarize that movie for people who haven't seen it, and obviously more intrigued with all the awards it garnered.
Well, it's very difficult to summarize. It's about a family who runs a laundromat or a cleaning service, and the daughter is sort of disenfranchised from the family, and they're having tax problems. They're going in for a tax audit. And that doesn't sound all that, special at that moment. But the lead character, played by Michelle Yeoh, ends up going into a multiverse where she goes and sees all these different permeations of herself and her family in all kinds of weird situations. And in one situation, they're actually just rocks. In another situation, they have weird fingers. But the point of the movie is that no matter what universe they live in, they would always come together and support each other. So the message behind the film is a really happy, strong one about family ties and the importance of family and the importance of being together. So it's a really good message if you can kind of get behind or beyond, I guess I should say, all sort of the weirdness.
There you go. Joe Fortunato reviewing the Oscars from last week as we go to film school each and every Friday with Joe. As always, my friend, thanks for the time of the visit. We'll reconnect next Friday.
Look forward to it. See you next week.
All right. Film study professor Joe Fortunato with us. 93.5, 1590 WAKR.